it's Steph from wildfoxstitchery here, and this is my Flosstube channel all about cross stitching. And lately I've been getting more into crocheting as well, so you'll be seeing more of that in the videos. I'll probably do that towards the end in case you're only interested in cross stitching. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I really appreciate all of you who keep coming back and watching my videos and commenting and all of your support. And welcome if you are a new viewer and viewing this for the first time. I hope that you enjoy this video. This is an exciting episode. It's my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. I don't know the exact date that I posted my first video, but it was in January last year. So it's been 1 year now. And also I am celebrating getting to 1,000 subscribers, which was my goal last year before the end of the year. And you all are all amazing. If I can even talk, you're all amazing and you helped me get to that goal. So I really appreciate that. I'm going to do my giveaway in this video, and what I'm going to give away is 2 gift cards, 2 $25 gift cards, and it will be to the online website cross stitch place of your choice, as long as it's something that I can get, you know, an electronic gift card that can get emailed to you. As long as they have that available, you can let me know which website you want to get the gift card for. So the rules for the giveaway are the same as they always are. Please be 18, please be a subscriber, and please like this video. Leave a comment below. Use the word winter because today we are having blizzard conditions all weekend actually. So it's like -2 last time I checked, but it feels like -25, and that's Fahrenheit. So if we were to go outside, we'd freeze. Well, it's actually pretty normal for North Dakota, you know, at this time of year in January. But there is blizzard conditions because we have high winds, and when you get out in the country, whiteout conditions happen very quickly. So we're gonna use the word winter if you want to win one of those 2 $25 gift cards. This past week, I have met all of my cross-stitching goals. I waited a little bit longer in the day on Saturday to film my video because I wanted to complete all of the goals this time before the video. So let's look at the numbers real quick for the week. So I will put it up here so you can see it while I'm talking about it, but I am also going to be looking at it over on my computer here. So total stitches for the week so far, and that won't of course include anything that I do after this video, but I have 6,368 stitches that are in markup so that I can count them. I have a little bit more than that because there's a couple patterns that are paper that I don't track. So my goal for you'll see my goals here. So wings, the Hazel 1682, I got 1727. My goal for the arrival of spring is 1,000 a week. I got 1,057. My goal for Acorns, which is the modern folk embroidery cell, is 400. I got 398. Mermaid, the stitch is so beautiful stitch along that I'm doing that for 500 a week, so I got 547. Traveling library, I got my 500. Killers, I got my 500. Penance, I got my 500. Freedom, I got 250. Watchmen, I got the 100. That was for my game. The Threadwalker saga, that's why it's only 100. And Queen of Hearts, I had to put 200 for the game, so I got that. Dreamer, what is that? Oh, that is my whip go call that I'm working on. I didn't quite get the 200, so actually I didn't meet that goal, but and then Maleficent is a new goal that I have that I've added on because I figured out if I get 400 stitches per week on that one, I can finish it by the end of the year. So I got my 400. Actually, I didn't put that in. So hold on, I just finished up Maleficent stitching right before this, so I didn't add that in. So I got 426, which actually brings me to 6,794. for the week. Okay, so let's take a look at these a little bit closer. We'll start with Biancabella, which is my Mirabilia. So I work on this once a week, and I don't have a set goal because I don't keep track of stitches on this one. This is for my sale, the first Fancy Lady sale, where we are stitching on our first Fancy Lady. It doesn't have to be a Mirabilia, and you are welcome to join at any time. It is still ongoing. So I'm doing this on a 32 count lavender Lugana here. And this is my progress, and you'll see where it was before I worked on it this week. So it's going well. I'm still working in the white. There's a lot of white at the top of the dress here. As you go further down, there'll be more of the green color. So there's that one. Next, we'll look at my long dog sampler for the week. So I spun this last week, and it spun Penance, which is my newest one that I started for my birthday in November. And I have put in my 500 stitches. So here we are. You'll see where it was before I started stitching this week, and here we are now. This is 310 DMC on a 20 count even weave, and it's 2 over 1. Let's look at the numbers for this one, if I can find it here. 1.68% completed with a total of 1,372 out of 81,612. This is a big one, and I'm using this Under the Sea fabrics in the color Coloris. I'll show you the whole fabric here because it's really cool. It's gonna look great with this 310 sampler on it. So yeah, this is gonna be a big one. Okay, so we need to spin the wheel to see which long dog sampler. I'm gonna work on this next week. So let's go ahead. Ooh, fishy goings on. One of my favorites. I love working on that one. So that'll be fun to work on and get 500 stitches in next week. Next, we'll look at my whip go call for the month, or one of them. This is my second time working on this for January, and it is by Barbara Anna Designs. It is the Spring Dreamer from her seasonal stitch along that she just had a few months ago. I didn't get that many. Like I said, I didn't quite get my goal, but I did work on it, so that was my ultimate goal. So for this piece, we are at 40.27% complete, and it's on a 28 count even weave, and it's 1 over 1. So it's tiny. It's real small, which it turns out really cute, but it makes it a little bit harder to work on. So I have 1,155 stitches total completed on this one. I forgot to say I have a total of 16 projects that I worked on in the last week, which is kind of a crazy number. I didn't think I worked on that many things. Okay. Let's look now at Little Acorns, which is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2026 stitch along, and I am doing that on this 32 count Lugana. You can see this hanging thread showing through, but that's okay. I'm doing it with DMC 816, 2 over 2, and this is how far I'm at. And my version is going to be a little bit different. I'm taking out a couple of the bands. So now we are at 5.65% complete with 1,489 total stitches done. And I have a goal of 400 stitches, so I did get my 400 for the week. And this one I actually did a stitch with me video this past week when I was working on it to see how many stitches I could get in 30 minutes. So I set a timer for 30 minutes and you'll have to watch that video to see how many I actually got done. So that one is very enjoyable to work on. Next, we have a kit, a Letistitch kit that I pulled out last week on Saturday after I had finished all my other goals for the week. It is my newest one. It is called Charmed Library. It's super cute and fun to stitch. So this is on with all the kit fabric, threads, all of that. I believe it's a 16 count Aida. But here is my progress. Hold on, it's the wrong way. Okay, here we go. So I started in the middle on this one. And the middle is right there. So I was working on this 4th page. And then when I pulled it out, I wanted to get in some more stitching and all of the other 3 pages around it so that we don't have any harsh lines or page lines at the end. So I did get all of these other stitches in around it here when I worked on it on Saturday. So it's a paper pattern, no percentages on that one. Next, I worked on my round robin piece. So this is for the Stitching Connection from 2025 that Jason Xstitch is hosting. This is the 2nd, 4th completed on the other person's whip. So she did the 1st quarter and I finished up my part here, the 2nd, 4th of it. This is a Carolyn Manning design. It's called Merlin. It's one of the smalls. So that is done. I finished that up on Wednesday at my craft group at church. So I was happy to get that completed, and I'm not sure when we're going to be switching these, but I am now ready to send it on to the next person, whenever that is. Okay, next we'll move into the full coverage whips. I have my Haidcell, which is the Glistening Wings. So my goal for this one is to finish it this year, and to do that, I figured out I need these 1,682 stitches every week. So here is where I'm at. This is 7.16% completed with 6,233 stitches completed out of 87,020 on a 25 count even weave 2/110 stitch. So that's where I am on that one. So far, I'm meeting my goals, and it's only the 2nd week, so we'll see how that continues. Okay, next, another one of my focus pieces. Well, most of these are actually. I have the Arrival of Spring. It is an unconventional Xstitch chart by the artist Natacha Chohra, and I'm doing this for the Full Coverage Fanatics 52,000 half stitches in 2026 challenge. So I need to get 1,000 stitches every week on this one. So here we are, still working in the top row, not quite all the way over to the side here, the other side. Mainly using this green color, but I do have a few other grays in there as well. So this is the biggest color in this piece, this green. So this is a 28 count even weave with a 2/110 stitch. Let's see here. So I'll probably keep working on this green until I get really bored of it, but right now there's still 14,000 stitches left of this color. So if you think about it, that's going to take me 14 more weeks before I even get to another color if I just keep doing this one. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes and what I decide to do. I am at 2.17% complete on this with 3,061 stitches done. So 3,000 out of the 52,000 are marked off. Next, we'll look at my Artecy piece, which is called Freedom. It's the cropped version, and the artist is Abraham Hunter. I work on this every week and put in 250 stitches. And since this is an 18 count Ada, and I'm doing a full cross stitch on this one, so 2 over 1. So here is where we are. I am working back along the second row here. Let's find the numbers real quick here. So 12.51% completed with 4,818 stitches out of 38,500 done. Next, we have my football stitching piece, which is called Killers, and it's charted by Tilton Crafts. The artist is Moreno, Aidan. This is the piece that I'm stitching for my husband, so I follow his football team, which is the Patriots. When they win a game, I do 500 stitches, and then if they lose, I do 250. That was in the regular season. Now they're in the playoffs, so if they win a playoff game, I do 1,000. So they won the first round, so I have to do 1,000, but I'm only doing 500 a week still. So I did 500 this week, and I'll do another 500 next week, and then it will continue on until I meet the goal for however many they win here. So let's look at where I'm at. This is a 25 count even weave, 2 over 1 10th stitch, and I'm doing the 310 first. And you can see that I am going along this row here. So I put in this section for 500 stitches this week. So let's look at stats. Now we're at 23.18% complete with 26,915 stitches out of 116,100. So at least one more week. If they lose the playoff game, I'm not going to put stitches in. It'll just be done until football next year then. So next we have the Stitches So Beautiful piece that I'm working on this year. It's called Mermaid. It's by Passy Art. And I'm doing this because I want to join their stitch along every month, where you have to put in either 250 full or 500 half stitches every week to get their free chart. So this is where I'm at here after my 500 this week. This is a 28 count even weave, 2 over 1 10th stitch, and now the total percentage done is 1.82% complete with 2,913 stitches out of 160,000. So I'm working this 939, which is the main color. I'm going to do that across the whole chart first, unless I get bored and switch, which happens a lot. Yeah, there's my progress on that one. And then every other week I put 500 stitches into Traveling Library, which is my biggest piece. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist is Aimee Stewart. So here is the piece after I put in 500 this morning, because I usually end up doing that on Saturdays. So it's now at 1.71% complete with 6,877 stitches out of 401,500. So I was doing 310 today on this one as well. So I put in more here, worked in up here, and a little bit in the red there. This is actually the bottom left corner, which I don't usually start in, but I just wanted to do something different, I guess. And also I wanted to work up to that fox on the bench quicker. Not gonna be anytime soon, but it was the shortest way. I might do all of 310 first. I don't know. I said that before and then I got bored and switched, but it's always kind of what I fall back on. Doing the main color first cross country. So there is that one with its 500 stitches for the week. And then, like I said about Maleficent, my smallest full coverage piece right now, I just started at the end of the year. And I thought, I kind of want to try to get another full coverage completed this year. And I would start with my smallest one. And I figured out how many stitches I would need to do every week to get that done. It's just kind of an extra goal. If I don't have time, I don't have time. But if I put in 400 every week on this, I should have it done by the end of the year, because there's only 21,600 stitches on this one. So I put in 400 today. Right now I'm doing the black first, the 310 outline, because it's a stained glass type picture. So it's total 1,170 stitches out of 21,600, so it's at 5.42% complete. And you can start to see the picture come out here, which is kind of fun. And then it'll be fun to go back and fill that in later on. So this is a 28 count even weave 2 or 110 stitch, and you can see the width here. So this is going to be, I think it's a square, so it's just very small. This is a smaller nerd hoop too, which is kind of nice to be able to use a smaller one for once instead of huge pieces. So this is I got the pattern on Etsy, so it's ArtDublin is the one that made the pattern. So that was fun. Now I'm going to show you Close Encounters. This is charted by Paine Free Crafts. The artist is Scot Howden, and I'm stitching this with my friend Samantha from Kansas City Stitcher. But I did this last week. So on Saturday after I filmed my floss tube, I had to put in 500 stitches on this one, and I did that. I am in the middle on this one with working obviously in her face first. I love this piece so much. That's why it's one of my focus pieces for this year. I'm at 3.85% complete on this one, and this one is also 25 count even weave 2 over 110 stitch. I kind of think 25 count is my favorite, although most of my products are 28 count, but you know, either one works for me. 4,232 total stitches out of 110,032. So like I said, 500 stitches on this one every other week. And I switched that out with the traveling library. So look at that. It looks awesome, doesn't it? Okay. Now we're going to look at my Threadwalker Saga stitching, which is an adventure stitching game that I created where you roll dice, level up your character, complete stitches to gain levels, and all that fun type of stuff. If you are interested, I have another video where I kind of explain it a little bit more, which I will link below. But I had to work on, well, I'm going to put a video in. Okay, so here is Watchmen before I put in the 100 stitches that are needed for the next level. Here is Watchmen after I put in 100 stitches for level 7. And I went ahead and colored in level 7. We are on to level 8, which is a special spot. Your thread gets hopelessly tangled, odd, minus 100 stitches, even, plus 100 stitches. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. And we aren't even, so we'll have to add 100 stitches to the 100 that's already here, which will be 200 stitches for level 8. Let's go ahead and see what project we're going to be working on for level 8. Okay, so 200 stitches on Queen of Hearts. Here is Queen of Hearts before the 200 required stitches. I'll probably be working in some red right here. Okay, I've put in 200 stitches on Queen of Hearts right in this area here. You can see I filled it in a little bit more. So I've colored in level 8, and we're going to work on 100 stitches for level 9, and let's spin to see what project that will be. That'll be on Northern Lights. Now we'll look at the first one I worked on, which is Mini Watchmen, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artist is Lisa Parker. And this one's an 18 count Aida, so it does take a little bit longer, and it's going to be a little bigger. It's 2/1 full cross. This one I'm actually going to work on the 310 as well. So I was working on that. I only had to put in 100 stitches. So here and here, you can see I put in some 310. Let's look and see what percentages we're at here, even though that really wasn't that much difference. 4.32% complete. 3,399 stitches out of 78,650. And I've seen this one completed. I think it was the mini version that I saw. I've seen the full version as well, but it looks amazing, which is why I started it. Okay. Now, the other one in that video that I worked on is another Heaven and Earth Designs. It's Queen of Hearts by Lynn. And I have all the 310 done on this one, so I'm filling in color now. The next color that I need to fill in would be the red. So I did 200 stitches on this one down in the section as you saw in the video. Now we're at 40.58% complete with 28,762 stitches out of 70,875. This is a 28 count even weave 2/1 10th stitch. So there's that. And that's it. We've come to the end of all of my whips for cross stitch. I do have a couple of mentions of new floss tubers that have posted videos, their first videos just recently that I watched and I really enjoyed, and so I thought I would shout them out. The first one is Aimee Rose from All Things Cross Stitch 1, and I'll link them below so you can go check them out. She's a new floss tuber and new to cross stitch as well, but she already has a ton of whips. So I really enjoyed her video. Lisa at Linguistic Stitches started her floss tube. I've been following her on Instagram already for a while, but she had a great video as well, so you can go check her out. And then Mel with Stitching with Mel had a couple videos already, but she is worth checking out as well, and she is has some great projects that she is working on. Next, I want to show you my crochet projects. Like I said at the beginning, I've really kind of gotten that crochet bug. I don't know, it was gone for a long time, but now it's kind of coming back, and I have like 3 big plastic tubs of yarn, and my goal is to like do projects until I get that all used up, because I don't want a bunch of yarn sitting around. So I thought, why not just find projects I can do and try to get this yarn used up. So I've kind of been working on that, and then I ended up buying more yarn, so my it's not helping my goal any, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I had already showed you this shawl that I had started a while ago, but I did complete it a couple weeks ago, and I never showed you. So I'm going to show you now. It's fully finished. Here it is. It's very pretty, and I use it a lot because it's perfect for wearing in this cold office. So this was with a Red Heart Super Saver ombre colored yarn, so that just had this variation in the yarn already. So real easy to work up this shawl. It did not take long at all. This is the Time in a Bottle shawl by Ninja Bunny Crochet, and I got the pattern on Etsy. And then I'll show you my next one here. Okay, the next thing I wanted to use up some of my yarn with is this tote here, this bag. So I should crochet this. It's a pretty big bag actually, and it went really quickly. I got that done. It used up quite a bit of yarn, so that, you know, that was the goal. And let's see, what it was called Easy Market Tote by Loops in Love. Also got the pattern on Etsy. So that turned out really well. Now I'm working on a hexagon cardigan and trying to, like I said, my goal keeps being trying to use up this yarn. So let me get that real quick to show you. Okay, so working on the first hexagon here. I thought I was almost done, but then I realized I actually still need like 7 more rows before this one will probably be done. And then I got to make another one of these, of course. But it's going pretty quick. I am using this Karen Cakes Rainbow Sherbet. I don't know if I'm going to have enough, which I'm a little worried about because I think this is the only one I had and it's really old, so probably not around anymore. I have a lot of yarn because I used to work at Michael's. Yeah, bought a lot of stuff there while I was working, so good and bad to work at a craft store. And then the other color that I'm alternating is this Red Heart Soft, and it's like an off-white color. I have plenty of this. I have a couple more skeins of that, or skeins, what are they called when it's yarn? I don't know. So yeah, so I don't know if I run out of this Karen cake, what I'm gonna do. I'll figure something out. We'll see. Maybe it's still available. I haven't even looked. I'll have to look and see if it is. And maybe I have another cake hiding in these tubs. Who knows? I didn't fully empty them out, so you never know what's hiding in there. Okay, so then after I finish that, or at least finish this first hexagon, I'm going to make a grafgan. So, grafgan. That is kind of a hard word to say. But anyways, this was my goal this year, that I wanted to learn how to do this, you know, like the grafgan type crochet where you make the pictures and you follow the graphs. So I've been practicing with some smaller projects. I'm going to try this big project. I'm going to put a picture here what it's going to be. It's a Lord of the Rings inspired project that I got on, it's geekygrafgans.com, I think is the website. Anyways, it's only 3 colors. It's, you know, simple to start out with. I'm excited to do it. This is the yarn that I got, or some of it at least, because it's going to use a lot and it's going to take forever because it's, of course, a single crochet and it's, you know, a big Afghan size. So I'm excited to try it when I'm done with this other one. So that is what I'm doing when I'm not cross-stitching. Luckily, I was able to get a lot of crocheting done in the car yesterday when we drove around for a couple hours doing a bunch of errands. So usually if I can, I just say I'm going to stay in the car and I'm going to crochet. So I can do that even when it's dark. And I obviously can't cross-stitch when it's dark. And it's a lot harder to bring a cross-stitch project along versus the crochet. It sounds like someone's at the door, so you'll probably hear the dogs barking. Other than that, let's see. As far as our Star Wars video and TV series challenge that the kids and I are doing, we're still on Clone Wars Season 1. So we watched about 4 of the episodes yesterday, but during the week we were pretty busy, so we didn't get a chance to watch many of them. So thank you very much for joining me today. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment with what project you were working on while you watched my video. I really appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!